Hola, mi gente. How is my familia doing? It is great to see you all. Thank you for being with us today at our September PC Power Hour. We greatly appreciate your time and you being here. Today, we're going to be focusing on scholarship management. And so we want to make sure that we are going through some of the guidelines, communications, and resources to make sure that we have scholarship clarity. We really want to make sure that when we are informing, advising, and answering scholar inquiries, that we are doing so in a consistent manner so that scholars are not getting confused and know exactly what is expected of them. So we want to make sure that we are creating systems where we have uniformity in our responses and that everyone is sort of on the same page when they're collecting the information to provide to scholars, right? And we want to do this because we want to make sure that students know where to get information, that they can advocate for themselves, that they know where their information for their scholarship lies, and really create a better systematic streamlined process for you to manage the scholarship program on your campus, right? So having consistency in the way we communicate, the way students are communicating with yourselves, with us, and with ISTS, so that we're all on the same page and providing the same information is going to really make sure that we are providing a systematic approach to the way our scholars are receiving information. So with that being said, um, we're going to kick off the agenda today with a walkthrough from, I don't know if Gary's going to be joining us, but Saad is definitely here, of our new, there's no drum roll? I thought it was going to be a drum roll, Saad. No? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Our new revamped website. I don't know if you've seen it already. If you haven't, it looks amazing. And Saad will definitely be walking you through that momentarily. Once we go through that, I will be talking about some of the scholarship management stuff, frequently asked questions that we get from our students, some of the best practices in responding to those, and again, making sure that we are all accessing the same resources, so we're providing consistent, uniform responses to our scholars. And then we're going to do an open forum. We've actually allotted most of this session for the open forum because we want to answer your questions, right? Any clarity that you need regarding the scholarship, any protocols that you're like unfamiliar with or you have some questions about, like we want to hear from you. We want to answer those questions for you live. Um, we have our scholarship Google, Miss Elena Solario, who is going to be attending and answering those questions for you. So I don't want to hear crickets when we go into the open forum. Like I want to hear your questions, man, because I know that once we shut off, we're gonna get 1,000 emails. Oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? And this is the time for it, right? We want to answer those questions and really open up that dialogue with you for this session. Once we've completed that part, we are going to do some updates and announcements. My colleague Nicole Wesley is going to again kick it. Nicole is like a machine. She just kicks out new programs every week. So she's going to talk to you about a new program that she's creating for called Career Communities. And then I will sort of fill in the rest of those announcements thereafter. And then we will end with a little short preview of what our October Power Hour will encompass. So all that being said, I am going to stop sharing my screen so that Sadana can show you the website in live.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning. Depends on where you are. My name is Sadana. For the past year, myself and Gabby Pacheco have been working on the Dream.Us website. Started as a refresh, then became an overhaul. And what you see before you is our live new website. We wanted to make sure that we take this time at the top of Power Hour today to just give you a quick orientation of it if you haven't already started exploring. We built this website, as I said, over the past year with a lot of input, feedback, content, materials from our team, our team members, and also with input and feedback from our scholars and from some of you, our partner college staff. So we're very proud of this and we're so excited to show you. So right now I'm going to walk you through the 2 places on the website where you'll probably be using the most. So it's going to be here for current scholars, our new Scholar Hub, and here for partner colleges, your PC Hub. So I'll jump right into for current scholars because I want to show you some new organizations that we have done with the website. So this is the landing page where immediately you'll see 7 categories or 7 buckets of how we've organized the information for scholars. And you'll also notice that they kind of mirror, or they are exactly representing the services and programming that we, the Dream.Us, offer to our scholars in addition to the scholarship funding part of it. So these buckets right here that you see are actually the more than a scholarship part of the Dream.Us. And these are how our scholars and alumni will then get to interact with everything that we provide and also, external resources that we are able to share. These are going to be mirrored in your PC Hub. So I'll show you that in a minute, but just wanted to let you know that this is what the scholars are going to be seeing as well when they jump in. So I'm going to go right up here to for partner colleges, and let's get into your partner college hub. So you will see 4 categories for you. They do mirror the same categories that were on our previous site, if you're familiar with that. But I'll kind of walk you through what's in them so that you see how things are now organized. Also down the page, you'll see that latest news now populates here. So all of the PC weeklies that we send out on Wednesdays will be populating here. I'm a little bit late on putting in the new PC weeklies, so don't judge me that August is up here at the top. But don't worry, I will be uploading these every Wednesday as I send them out. So if you missed the email or another colleague has asked you for some information or you forgot something, you can always come back here and check all of it. We do have an archive as well that goes into there. But let's jump in. I want to go into scholarship management. So you'll see now that we have a left-hand navigation that we're really proud of. So scholarship management here, I just want to show you where you'll now find the program guides. So both program guides are now here. They will be updated here for you. And you can come here to reference them at any time. Down here, program management, you'll see ISTS portal access information, and you'll also see the EVR instructions and the tutorial. So everything that's here, as you know now in the PC Weekly, we're going to give you the schedule of when EVRs are due throughout the school year. So Elena will not be sending that individual email out to everyone anymore. You'll just, we'll put it on here, the schedule of when EVRs are due. You can just come here, the instructions and the video. Down here as well, we have a building community section where you'll see the past sessions of this, the power hours and the slides. So again, if you miss one of these or you want to go back and reference an information, you want to see something from the past, they're all here now for you, right here on the scholarship management landing page. So now, perhaps most exciting for us, or second exciting, I'll tell you the most exciting one for us soon. So PC directory. So you'll notice that PC directory, you're no longer going to be looking at an Excel or a Google Sheet or a PDF. We have leveled up with sharing our contacts for you. So we have now embedded the PC directory directly on the site. We now have a drop-down menu where you'll navigate right to your state. And you'll then go to those colleges in your state. So I'll just pick an example, Utah. You can click on Utah. It goes right down to our partner colleges in Utah. We now have this button called View Details. So you click into that and you're actually going to see like a little info page for your college. And the cool thing about this is you can literally bookmark this page that you can then come back to for reference anytime. It's going to be super helpful for scholars. Sometimes we often have to direct them to, find their scholar advisor, find their financial aid advisor. And it's great now that we can just tell them, hey, bookmark your college. This page will be updated. All of the contacts will populate here on the bottom. As we update them in the back end, they'll just refresh on the site for you. So you can literally just keep this page open or bookmarked for you. This is going to be, you know, where your information will live. Another caveat is that because the website is new, freshly launched, we're still kind of scrubbing for any discrepancies, issues, edits. We're still kind of making some changes in the back end. So if you do like go to your partner college page, you see something that you know is wrong or something needs to be changed, feel free to email me. And I will take a look at that. So we're still kind of working on organizing each of these individual pages, but we are happy to, you know, if you point something out to us, please let us know. We'll take care of that. So I do want to jump into, this is the thing we're most excited about. So the PC directory is like second, but the thing we're most excited about is the calendar. So the team, we are so like thankful that we now have this feature directly on the website as well. You will have a calendar in your partner college hub, and the scholars will have a calendar in their partner college hub. Those calendars will be mirrored. So everything that the scholars will see, you will actually also see them here on your calendar. So no need to go check, you know, the scholars calendar for different information. They're all going to be here as well. And then we get to now add all events that are happening, whether they're local events or there are events, virtual events. We do a lot of webinars with the President's Alliance or Immigrants Rising. You'll see all of those populated here. The great thing is you can directly like click here, subscribe to calendar, and like add it to your email client. So then you can like just check that box and all the TheDream.Us events will populate for you in your work calendar or whatever, if you want to. We're not saying you have to, but that is a great feature. You can also click into individual events. Again, you'll see the full, you know, breakdown of the event. And again, you can also add the individual event to your calendar. We are really excited about this, especially for scholars. We know that we have a lot of programming and we have a lot of things that we put out to scholars, and we hope that this will be a great organizing tool for scholars to keep up with some of the things we offer, and they'll find just all the details in one place. So I did promise to show you where the things are that are mirrored in the Scholars Hub. So you're going to go into effective practices down here. And you'll see that the tabs are right here for some of the same categories over on the Scholars Hub, but they will have some things that are just specific to you all, PC staff, that you will see and you can reference, and these are great resources for you to go back to. But also you will see a lot of the same things that the scholars have. For example, you'll see a link to the scholar page right here on the bottom. So you'll always be able to just jump to the scholar version of the same category. And I do want to highlight career success page really quick. You'll see that career success is a big part of what we do now in the more than a scholarship section. And it's now organized by these categories over here. And they are chock full of resources and materials and helpful stuff, thanks to my colleague Nicole and all the great work that she's been doing. So we just wanted to let you know, this is also your resource, your library. If you want to come get information on any of these things here, feel free to click into this as well. We really hope that you will make great use of this hub because we built it for you. And we really hope that you enjoy it. So that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Saad. I really have to give Saad and Gabby a huge shout out for all the work that went into putting together the website. It looks amazing. And as she said, like, we didn't just want to build a new fancy, cute website. Like, we did this with intention, right? Like, we've been working with you all. We've been working with the scholars. We have gotten feedback and really wanted to make a website that was functional, that was accessible, that was easily to digest, and that is what we have sort of done here, and we will continue to do here, right? So this kind of leads me into the next piece of the presentation. but I can't move my screen. Give me one sec. Let's try this again. There we go. Awesome. All right. So, um, this leads me into the next piece of my presentation. The scholarship website really is going to be our hub, right? It is your primary resource for any of your inquiries and any of our scholarship questions from scholar inquiries. So we really, again, want to make sure that this is a platform that you have access to and can readily get your information. We will continue, even as great as it already looks, we are going to continue to build out this information. We are continuing to build out programming and content that we will continue to fill the pages of the website and provide that information for you that is easily for you to access. If you have any questions regarding your EBRs, renewals, program guides, as Sadhana sort of said, that already is in the scholarship management section. You don't necessarily need to reach out to anyone. You will be able to get that information already from the website and be able to access that information, right? If scholars are reaching out to you because they have immigration questions or graduate school questions, there is an effective practices web page on the website that they can access and get this information from, right? So all of this information is readily accessible and able for you to be able to access and share with your scholars, right? One of the practices that we want to make sure is that when we are responding to scholars and their inquiries, that we are sending them to the same place so that we're all accessing the same language, so we all have the same understanding of what is responsible for the scholar and what it is the protocols that they need to implement. A lot of you should be looking at your promotional toolkit as we are going to be launching the new application round in November. All of the information in terms of what you can be doing on social media, flyers, and all that other information, that also lives on the website and is accessible for you. 80 to 90% of your questions and scholar questions will probably be answered through the website. And when I say that, the concentration of that is going to be the National Scholarship Guide and the Opportunity Guide, right? So we want to make sure that we are always also not only referring students to the website, but referring them to their appropriate guides for the information that they need, right? Over the years, the scholarship program has gone through some changes. We have had to make some pivots and have to adopt it and made some changes to the program. All of those changes have been noted in the new versions of the scholarship guide and are there for you to read through, right? So I know we have some OGs here who have been with us for 10 years, with the scholarship program. If you have an older version of that scholarship guide on your desktop, please toss it, burn it, throw it away. Like my man Hector Lavoe said, it's el periódico de ayer, right? That's yesterday's newspaper. Like we really want to make sure that you are accessing the newest and most updated information, and that information is currently on the website through the updated versions of these scholarship guides, right? If we want to make sure that we are on the same page when we are advising students, we need to make sure that we're reading from the same book, right? All right. So frequently asked questions. So I am having issues with my PowerPoint. Give me 1 second. Hopefully everybody can see that.
Yes.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So we're going to play a little game. And so this is just for fun. There's no need to get mad. Don't slam your keyboards. Don't throw your mouse out the window. This is just for, I'm looking at you, Elena. This is just for fun. All right. So We're gonna ask the question, and then you guys gotta put your answers to the questions in the chat. So where can I find my app ID? How much funding do I have left? Where can I find my scholarship eligibility? Where can I find the request form? And I bunched all these questions together because they all have the same answer. Don't be shy. Don't she? Okay. All right. All right. I'm seeing some people answering. I'm seeing some people answering. Okay. Awesome. So, drum roll. The student's ISTS Scholar portal is where all of this information can be found, right? So again, we want to make sure that students are their own advocates, that they have the information that they need to monitor and really keep track of their own scholarship award, right? They don't necessarily need to be emailing you all to know these, to get access to this information. They have access to this information. We really want them to be accountable for knowing this information. The ISTS Scholar portal is crucial for them managing their own awards. So you want to make sure that you are reminding students that this information is available for them in their portal and that they have readily accessible and are consistently checking in on that to make sure that they are keeping track of their award, right? We really want them to focus on reaching out to you for more in-depth questions on career management, on scholarship management, and real college success information, and not really sort of this more logistical mundane issues, right? That they already have access to. One thing to note, the request form is only available for national scholars on the National Scholars Portal. All of this other information for Opportunity Scholars is on their portal, except for the request form. For anything that they would use the request form, they would normally just email Hayne Lee for any of those types of questions. We want to make sure that we are telling students to use their app ID when they are reaching out to ISTS or TheDream.Us. We have thousands of students at this point, and there are very similar names. We want to make sure that as they would reach out to any office in your campus and use their college ID for them to be able to manage their issues, they should be also using their app IDs when reaching out to ISTS and TheDream.Us to make sure that we are actually addressing the correct student and that student's issues. All right, everybody's ready for the next question? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right, here we go. Can I transfer to another partner college and keep my national scholarship? All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. I see a lot of yeses. I feel like that was an easy one. I should have made these harder. I should have like got some like SAT questions for you guys. All right, okay, all right. Yes, yes, they can keep their scholarship if they go to another partner college. However, we want to make sure that scholars are following the proper steps, which again is outlined in their National Scholarship Guide, page 16, when they are requesting to transfer their scholarship to another partner college, right? And why is that? Because Elena is our scholarship Google, and I've seen super competitive, super great at sports, like freakishly good at sports, but the one thing she is not is psychic. If the scholar does not inform us that they are transferring, we don't know where they are. We don't know where to send their money. The EVRs don't reflect where they're currently attending their schools. So they must make sure that they're following the proper steps when they do this. We have tons of students who sort of transfer schools and don't say anything. And then you're confused, we're confused, everyone, there's just sort of mad chaotic information going around. So again, we want to make sure that we are telling students, yes, you can transfer to another partner college, but that they're following the correct steps to do so. Primarily, they want to make sure that they are still eligible for in-state tuition, right? Just because you're attending one of our other partner colleges doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to qualify for in-state tuition at that campus, right? If you're a CUNY student and you decide you want now to attend Rutgers in New Jersey, we know specifically for our student population that if you qualify for in-state tuition in New York, you most likely will not qualify for in-state tuition in New Jersey, right? And that's just one of the examples that students really need to make sure that they're following the processes so that they're not running into issues going through the process and then finding out that their scholarship will not transfer over because they now have fallen outside of the criteria for the scholarship program. They need to make sure that they've been accepted by the new PC. But most importantly, again, as I noted, Elena is not psychic. They must complete the request form that is on their ISTS Scholar portal before starting at that new PC. The sort of one exception that we have for students who need an out-of-state option is Purdue Global. That is a very particular, very sort of situation where it's under certain circumstances. So that is a very sort of exclusive option for us. But otherwise, they need to be going through this regular process. All right, ready for the next question? Yeah, all right. I'm going to max out of funds 2 semesters from now, but I will still need another semester to graduate. Should I apply for bridge funding now? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. I see one no. I see one no. All right, I got more yeses than no. I got someone who just threw their hands up. They just gave up on the whole game. They don't even want to play no more. All right, okay. Albert, I love you. You put no with a question mark, so I'm not sure if you're really answering it. I'm not sure if you're really answering the question. All right. No, 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 no. Come on, my people. Come on. So, no, scholars should not be applying for bridge funding well in advance, right? This is not 3, 4 semesters prior to being from running out of your funding. Bridge funding is only for scholars who are going into their last semester and need 15 credits or less to graduate, right? Like that is the criteria for bridge funding. I know we have some students who have anxieties and are like the super planners and they're like have their schedules for a year and a half and they're already estimating that they're going to run out of money. They cannot apply that far in advance, right? We really want to make sure that we are providing those funds to the students who most need it at that point in time. So we want to make sure that they are applying for this additional funding and at the proper timing so that we can make sure that we are, again, are meeting those student needs who are most urgent. In addition to that, like the same thing goes for if students are maxing out on their time, same criteria, same difference. We're just talking about time rather than money. Bridge funding can also not be used to pay for outstanding or previous semesters. If the student decides, well, if I take another semester, even though I can graduate now, I can probably do a double major. No, we will not be able to provide them funding for that or any other cost of attendance, such as meal plans or dorms. Bridge funding is not meant for those types of costs or services. All right. Last question. Let's see. How do I request bridge funding, breaks of enrollment, transfer, or appeal? I feel like this is an easy one. I feel like we've been kind of talking about it already. Okay. I'm looking for like 2 magic words. Ooh. Awesome. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. So yes, there's actually 2 answers to this question, right? For our national scholars, they must complete that request form on their ISTS Scholar portal. So that is, I mean, if you haven't heard me mention like request form 1,000 times already, you probably are getting like everything national scholarship goes through the request form, right? So that's like already something that you can know. If it's a national scholar and they're looking for some type of request like this, send them to their ISTS portal to fill out that request form. For our opportunity scholars, the request form is not on their portal, so they will have to email Hayne Lee at TheDream.Us, who manages all of our opportunity scholars and PCs. The other thing I wanted to note, and I feel like it's really underutilized, right? We have created these awesome, not because I'm biased or anything, but we have created these awesome YouTube videos, really walking through students of the process of applying for bridge funding, breaks of enrollments, how to transfer. There are actually a couple of more that we have already. You literally do not even need to write a long email explaining this to the student, or even send them to the program guide, because we have actually already created these really short 2-minute videos that students can review, because sometimes students don't want to read. So send them the link. This is actually a YouTube playlist that has all of these videos in one playlist, but each video also has its own link. So you could send the student the individual link or just send them the entire playlist. And it literally will walk them through the process. All of the videos also have links in the comments for all of the resources that students would need to access when they're applying for any one of these resources or requests. We have mentioned the ISTS portal a lot, and I know that we have shown this image for you guys in the past, but I know that we also have a lot of new partner colleges who are joining us and may have not seen this. So this is what students see when they open up their ISTS Scholar portal. This is their home page, right? So like I said, they can find their app ID numbers here. They can find how much money they've been awarded, how much they have used to date, when the last time a payment was made to their college and what amount, how much funds do they have still available in the scholarship, and their renewal and eligibility statuses, right? So this information, they should not be reaching out to you for this information. They have this information, they can go into their portals and they can monitor their own awards, and they should be monitoring and tracking their own awards and their own eligibilities, right? As I've mentioned 1,000 times, the request form, which is where they would apply for a ton of these requests, bridge funding, breaks of enrollments, is located on the top right-hand side of their ISTS portal. So again, it is right here. They would be able to click on it. And once they click on it, it will take them to this page, which is the home page for the request form. And as you can see, they can request a break of enrollment, transferring from a different school, bridge funding, or an appeal process if that is what the student needs to take. Once they click on whatever request they want to make, it will prompt a new set of questions specific for that request, right? So we want to make sure that you have a visual, that that you can see what the students are seeing when they are in need of these services and have these questions, so that you can also sort of properly advise them and direct them of where to find these resources. So with that being said, let's tackle a student question. So,
Chris, real quick, sorry. I just want
go
to
ahead.
say just a quick mention on the request form. They can only have one open request form at a time. So just if they're trying to do a break of enrollment and transfer schools, they can only have one open, and they would have to go back in and resubmit the second one once the first one has been reviewed and an answer provided.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Elena. I forgot to mention that. So let's tackle a best practice for responding to scholar inquiries. And so as I mentioned, it's sort of the big purpose of this was really, again, creating a continuity in the way we are responding to students and where we are directing them to get information regarding their scholarship status and responsibilities, right? So I got this email from this student named Chris Aviles. I am a new Dream.Us scholar. I would like to know when my tuition will be paid and when I will receive my stipend. There's something about this kid. I don't know if it's his name, but I feel like he's a good kid. So just to practice a response, and obviously this is just a form response, you would all adapt it to what specifics are for your campus. But just to hit a couple of ideas and concepts that we're trying to reinforce. Hello, Chris. Welcome to Hunter College and the Dream.Us Scholarship Program. The Dream.Us will send your tuition and stipend funds no later than the middle of each semester. From there, it will take a few weeks to have the funds posted to your account and the stipend released to you. Please note, your scholarship payment information can be found on page 8 of your scholarship guide located here. I strongly encourage you that you read through the guide and that it becomes your first point of reference when you have scholarship questions. In most cases, you will not only be able to find the answers to your questions, but receive them faster, as it may take some time for me to respond to the several emails in my inbox. If you do not find the answers to your questions by first reading the guide, please feel free to reach out to me. Also know I have placed holds on your courses so that they do not drop and your tuition does not incur any late fees while we wait for the Dream.Us funds to reach the college, right? So just to reiterate, right? One, we know that our students often have issues reaching out to offices, official offices, and points of authority. So I opened up with a welcoming remark. Welcome to Hunter College. Welcome to the Dream.Us. We want to make sure that the student feels comfortable in reaching out to us and connecting with us. I also answered their question directly, right? The Dream.Us will send your tuition by the middle of this semester, right? So I didn't automatically just send the student to the program guide and say, well, that information is in the guide, go look at the guide. I actually answered the student specific question, but this is kind of the like give a man a fish or teach him to fish kind of thing. I did both. I answered the question, but I also referred them to where this information could be found in their program guide and strongly encouraged them to reference the guide first because they would be able to get their answers, not only get their answers quickly, but will also, again, everyone's reading the same information, they're reading the same guides, everyone's reading the same language, right? I also not only reiterated that they would be able to get their answers faster and most efficiently, but I didn't close the door to the student, right? I also told them if you don't find your answers from reading the guide, feel free to reach out to me, right? I don't want the student to feel like, oh, well, I can only reference the guide and I can't ask anybody else any other types of questions. I still left that door open so that they would feel free to come and reach out to me for anything that they cannot find in the program guide. Finally, I took it a step further because I know we've all been working with students for 1,000 years at this point. And so I already know where the next question is going to go. They're going to be worried about their classes being dropped, late fees, their bursars keep sending them emails saying that they need to pay their bills. So I anticipated that and sort of also gave them a response that I'm already working with the bursar's office. I put holds on your account. Your courses are not going to be dropped. You're not going to get any late fees on your bill, so that I've eased that anxiety for the student in advance, knowing that that would be the next question that they would ask, right? This is just conceptually, right? You all can look at this, sort of take what you want from it. Again, I think one of the main forces that we would like for you to sort of reinforce is, again, driving students to the website and to their program guides to make sure that we're all on the same page. And again, that they are accessing this information and becoming their own advocates for their scholarship program. It should hopefully work and make the sort of process a little bit more streamlined for us all, to make sure that students are getting unilateral, uniform information, whether they're talking to their campus school, whether they're talking directly with the Dream.Us, or whether they're talking to ISTS, right? I've done enough talking, and so I want to open this up to the open forum. If you have a question, literally any scholarship question that comes to your mind, doesn't have to be about anything that we've talked about. Please, I would love to hear your voices. So if you raise your hands, then you can unmute yourself and just ask your question. Any question at all? Sea Green.
Hello. Um, oh my. I am trying to work diligently with my partner college in regard to waiting for the scholarship money, and then we don't send out late fees and so on. And it seems that it would happen seamlessly if coded in Banner. However, they have another. I'm just trying, it's just becoming difficult to even work with them constantly to get them not to send out the late fees, and they don't drop registration or anything like that, but it's the constant late fees, and it gets sent home, and then and so on. So I'm wondering how other institutions are dealing with coding the students, and we have Banner in their particular one, and how to avoid all of that. So that's my question.
That's a good question.
I can actually talk a little bit about my own process. So everyone knows I was the scholar advisor for our partner college, Hunter College in New York. And one of the ways that I was able to work around that was really working closely with my bursar's office. And
Okay.
so every semester, what I would do is I would send them a list of my scholars. We would sort of have a password protected file, and just to, again, sort of make sure that our students' privacy was being respected.
Mm.
But I would basically send them a file of my current scholars for the semester.
Okay.
And then because they're the ones who sort of manage the billing process and the late fees and all of those things, they were able to make note of my scholars and make sure that they were not being charged any late fees, that their courses were not being dropped. They were unfortunately not able to remove them from the communications, those general emails that went out to students.
Okay.
Know that like their bill was still outstanding. So I had to sort of on the back end also reach out to my scholars to again let them know you're gonna get that email. It's fine. I'm working with the bursar's office. You can completely disregard. But that is where again, sort of making those relationships on your campus, working with your financial aid office,
Right.
working with the is
Student accounts.
exactly
Yes. Thanks. That's good.
not a problem. Stephanie.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm calling you, or I'm involved from Weber State. And what the last person had asked, what are other colleges doing? What we did for this first cohort that we have is we used a different fund to cover their tuition and general fees. And so they're taken care of. And then when we get the money from the TheDream.Us, we'll reimburse that account. And that way we could avoid having to play tag back and forth with the bursar's office. We just ponied up some of our own money for that. But my question for you is, historically, how long has this program been around? Where did it originate from? And just a little bit of history.
Sure. I feel like some of our OGs might want to take that question. I mean, roughly we've been around. We're actually hitting our 10-year anniversary for the TheDream.Us scholarship program. Elena, do you want to like give a little, maybe a little short synopsis of the history?
I will do my best. That's what we normally have Gabby for.
Yeah, I know.
Saad, you might even want to.
Yeah, I can
if I
jump
totally
into.
missed something. So yeah, so as Chris mentioned, we are coming up on our 10th anniversary. When the program started, it was specific to those who had DACA or TPS. And it was just, and it's really hard to sort of say, but like there was a group, our founders basically found out about this population of students and the struggles that they face. And so it just kind of all ended up coming together as far as creating a program, you know, ultimately for them for their college tuition and all. Over the years, it has grown to being more than just the scholarship, and the eligibility criteria over the years has grown. Every year, it seems there has been a change to our eligibility criteria over the last 10 years. So while I am coming up on my 5th anniversary with TheDream.Us, I have worked this program since fall of 2014 when I was the program manager at ISTS. So I formerly worked for ISTS. This was my program at ISTS. So I have seen the many iterations of the eligibility criteria and things like that. I'm trying to think if there's really anything else to sort of add to that. Did that help, Stephanie?
It did, yes. I'm just wondering, like, did it start on the East Coast and then move over, or has this always been in Utah?
It's a national program, and it started as a national program.
Okay. I think it's really great. Thank you.
Thank you. Adicia, you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. So when students are in that last semester and they get the bridge funding, and sometimes they don't have to register full time. So sometimes they register for 9 hours or sometimes even 3 hours. So what confused me a little bit this time around was, I just want to be sure that I'm understanding, because I think Candy sent me the answer, but I just want to make sure that I'm understanding it properly. So let's say the student is 9 hours. So if they get renewed, let's say for $7,250, we receive that, the full amount, right? There's no proration on your end. And then we just need to make sure that we work the numbers on our end to cover the rest in, whatever ways, whatever eligibility they have, especially with the MAP grant here in Illinois. So that's one of my questions. And I guess the second part of my question is, when they're only, let's say, enrolled for one, that they need one course, that's a huge difference. So they might not need the entire $7,250 that you are providing. So one, am I correct on the first question, and the way I'm viewing it? Maybe let's take that part first.
So it'll go through the same process that we do for all the scholars, where we look at the amount of tuition and fees that were provided in the EDR. In your case, we would also look at whether they're receiving MAP or not. If they are, then we would reduce that tuition and fees amount by the MAP award, and then we would pay the difference. So it's really going to come down to that. So it's an amount up to the $7,250. So it just depends on what's listed in the EDR as far as their tuition and fees.
I see. So, okay, that's how you address the 3 versus 9 versus
Correct.
12.
Yep.
Okay, I think I was understanding it the same way. Okay, that's helpful. Yes, thank you.
All right, I don't see any other hands raised, but I do see that there are some questions in the chat. We'll try to go through at least a couple more of these before we go into announcements. So who do we contact for changes to be made to our to our contact information on the website? So I can take that one. That's an easy one, Elena. I'll leave the hard ones for you. Each college has a relationship manager from the TheDream.Us side. So if there are any changes that you need to be done on your PC directory for your campus, please send that information to your relationship manager for your campus. And then they would be charged with making sure that the edits are made. And then Sadhana and Gabby can have that updated on the website. As a new PC, I also had to work closely with the bursar's office. I invited 3 members, including the director of Cafecito, where I introduced myself, my supervisor, and I created a 1-pager fact sheet about what the scholarship is, who is eligible, and the CU Denver's commitments. So I think this is an answer to C. Green's questions regarding how to work with the bursar's office. So this is a really great sort of tip in terms of how you might be able to do that. If a student drops all their courses, will they face any repercussions such as having to pay back the dues, or does the scholarship cover the dues if they decide to drop all classes? I will leave that for Miss Elena.
Oscar, yes. So the scholarship, so if there's any liability, if they dropped after the ad drop period, the scholarship will still continue to pay up to the term maximum. For that term, it ultimately just means that they have less money available. And while it may end up being that, you know, depending upon the school, the cost of tuition and fees at that school, they may be fine. And if they end up, dropping again later on, they're going to have to really watch their money by doing that. They do also the only time they run the risk is during the renewal process. If we have seen a pattern of constantly sort of like withdrawing from everything, there is a chance that they would lose the scholarship at that point, just because they're not making any progress towards their degree, and we have a time frame and all of that for them to complete. So
Thank you, Oscar, for the question. Okay, so we are going to move along because we do have some announcements that we want to make. And so I'm going to pass it off to my colleague, Nicole.
Thanks, Chris. I am very excited to announce another new career initiative. This program is called Career Communities, which is a virtual cohort-based community focused on career exploration and development. Current scholars who are interested in joining a career community do need to apply and be selected to be a career community member. Once a career community member, members will attend monthly group meetings from November to April. Those monthly meetings will be the second Tuesday of each month from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. During those meetings, they'll learn about entrepreneurial career pathways, excuse me, such as starting a business, freelancing, independent contract work. They'll also make connections with other scholars who have similar career goals, as well as current undocumented professionals in the field of interest. And they will also receive career advice from their group coach, who is an undocumented professional and will be the one facilitating these monthly group meetings. So if you think about it, my colleague Sedana mentioned that this is kind of like a mini course where scholars will attend monthly group meetings. They'll learn about careers and entrepreneurial career pathways, and they will make connections and hopefully learn some valuable information. Next slide, please. So with our career communities, we did establish 5 career communities based off of our scholars' majors and popularity around different career pathways. And you can see those 5 on the slide here. So science and technology, health and medicine, business, public and social services, and education. Our application timeline is quickly approaching. So our applications open not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, October 4th. And applications will close on Friday, October 20th. So because we have such a quick and short timeline, we're hoping that you as PCs can help promote this great opportunity to your scholars. You'll be getting communications about this program in our PC Weekly. I do also want to mention that space is limited per each career community. So it's 30 scholars maximum per career community. When a scholar applies, they will be able to apply to their first career community of interest, or as well as their second career community of interest. With that said, if a scholar is selected, they will only be able to participate in one career community. I also want to briefly mention that a scholar's major does not need to align with the career community that they select. However, We assume that a majority of scholars will be selecting based off of their major, but it's not a requirement. I also want to mention too, that we will be giving away a $500 stipends to career community members at the end of the program if they meet certain requirements. And those are requirements such as attending a majority of the monthly meetings, completing light homework assignments and tasks, and having a social security number or an ITIN by the end of the program. And my last slide. This here is the scholar requirements. I won't go through everything. You'll be able to learn more about the career communities on our Career Success Networking webpage. It is coming soon. Hopefully, if you don't see it by the end of this week, you'll see it next week. But the one thing I do want to point out in the scholar requirements, that last bullet point, all current scholars, if they meet all other requirements, they can apply to this program. They do not need to have a social security number, an ITIN, at the beginning of, at time of application. However, if they are interested in receiving that $500 stipend post-program, they will need to apply and have an ITIN by program end, then that is May 2024. So we are very excited about this program. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to look at that webpage that is coming soon. And we hope that you will help promote out this opportunity to your scholars. Thank you.
Nicole, we actually have a hand raised. So
Okay.
Dylan, you want to ask a question?
Yes, hi. I hope you can hear me. Nicole, when it
Yes.
comes to this $500 stipend, I know with an internship and the fellowships, there was a maximum of $8,000 that a student can receive. Is this part of that additional $8,000, or is this a separate type of funding?
This is a separate type of funding, Dylan. So for our PCs that are part of our internship or fellowship programs, those are separate programs. You don't need to worry about that.
Great.
So hopefully that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
So we are almost up to time. So I'm going to try to speed through the rest of these announcements really quick. A lot of them you already know. So as Sadhana mentioned earlier, the EVRs are due October 31st. Elena is no longer sending out those emails. All of those announcements will be going out through our PC weeklies. So you need to make sure that whoever is submitting your EVR for your campus is on the directory so that they are getting those PC weeklies and are aware that the submissions have opened up when they're closing and all of the guides that they need to be able to submit their EVRs. In addition, if you haven't looked already and might have noticed, IESTS actually has a new link for you to log into your own PC portals. And so I've also linked that here. You will get that tomorrow in the PC Weekly along with the recording for this PC Power Hour. Individual conference grants, we have one more application cycle for this year. If you have a student who is looking at attending a professional conference in the month of December, they can still submit their application. I failed to put the link in, but I will put it in before we send this out tomorrow. The scholar can choose whatever conference they are interested in attending, but they should note that preference will be given to conferences that have a student track or registration as part of their process. We will be relaunching the program again in 2024 with a whole new list of conferences that students can attend. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know how many of you have participated in the I Stand With Immigrants Day of Action. It was something that I used to love to do when I was working at Hunter. So basically, this is an initiative run by Forward US, and they have organized the Day of Action for several years at this point. For this year, the Day of Action is going to be Wednesday, October 25th. It is a day of solidarity, community, and advocacy. We have all seen in the previous weeks, there is still an attempt to dismantle the DACA program are, as well as all of the other obstacles that our undocumented students are facing at this point. So these initiatives and these opportunities to come together and highlight our undocumented student populations are super, super important. TheDream.Us has a sign-up sheet for people who are interested in taking part in these activities on your campus. They do ask that everyone commit to completing at least 2 activities. And they've provided a toolkit, which is linked here, of what those activities can be on your campus. And if you decide that you want to participate, you can sign up here. The first 160 colleges to sign up to do these activities on their campus will receive the I Stand With Immigrants t-shirts free of charge. The additional 4 will get tickets to, again, help promote their programs and their events on their campuses. If you do not meet the 160 mark or really just want to buy the shirt, you can go to the website and purchase the shirt at a discount using the code immigrants. If you have any further information, you can, if you need any further information, you can click on the students at IamImmigrants.com email address. Also, we are still doing our PC career development events. We still have funding available if you are still interested and feel like it might be too late to do that. No, it is not. We still have money. We still are taking applications and offering up to $2,000 for campuses to do events focused primarily on career pathways regardless of work authorization on their campuses. You can view the toolkit and application process by clicking this link here. And this is for any campuses who are looking to do an event this fall semester. We will have a new application process for the spring. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, November 1st, we will be kicking off our new 2024-2025 application round. And so our amazing Gabby Pacheco and Sadhana Singh will be leading the next PC Power Hour. So all the information that you need for your recruitment and outreach process in getting applications in for the scholarship for your campus, they'll be going through all of that next month. So I think that is it.
Chris, real quick, can you give the date for that power hour because it said April
Oh,
on that slide?
am so sorry. It is usually the last Tuesday of the month. So we are looking at October 31st. Sorry about that. We will make that edit prior to sending this out on the PC Weekly tomorrow. I will hang out for a little bit if anybody have any questions or anything. But aside from that, thank you so much for joining us and have a great rest of your day.